Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz. Jackie later still like Jackson because we're staying socially distanced because fuck COVID. That's just how that works. It's too hot for sleeps. It's Texas. It's August. I apologize. We're going to do some more vegetable stuff. I'm looking for more vegetable recipes. Quick shout out if you got them. Let me know. Put them here in the comments or hit them on our socials. But one of the best places down here to eat, the awesome little burger joint, but they're known for these fucking onion rings, right? So they're just like huge and monstrous. Like they're a meal on themselves. So I'm going to try to do them properly. I think I'm going to screw it up. But I've never made onion rings that didn't completely fall apart or look horrible or just taste bad. So this is going to be great. I'm going to try to do this recipe a little bit better. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y stuff. Ring the little bell, get notifications when we upload Tuesdays and Fridays. And, oh yeah, down in the link, down in the doobly-doo, there's a link for our merchandise. Like aprons and fake hands. Yeah, fake hands. Some people ask, what is a fake hand? They don't know the show. Oven mitts and spoons, spatulas, all that kind of stuff. Shameless plug over, and let's just get into onion rings. This is awesome. Alright, so this is basically really simple stuff. You're going to need some onions. Got these big ass Texas onions. Usually you get one or two, it's going to make a lot. You're going to need oil, something to cook it in, some baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. And want some flour and eggs and water. 1 cup of cold water. That's all it's going to take for that. Salt and pepper or seasoning salt in there too, just because you don't want them to be bland. Those are optional. You can season them with whatever you want, but that's all you want. So get you a pot, get you some oil. You want to get something that's deep enough to put about 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep on the side, and then put your oil in it to that deep. Set your heat to medium high. You don't want it too high because it's going to fry. You don't want it popping and splashing out of there, but you do want it to bubble a little bit. So this should have been about 2 cups worth. Set that on there, let that start heating up. While we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and pull the skin off our onions and cut both ends off, especially this end where you can see where the root was going to hold everything together. Now, take it sideways. You want to cut across the grain right here so you get rings instead of chunks. Make sure all the papery stuff is off. And just cut it, and you want to do about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. Shout out to Andy for the sharp knife. And just cut these across. Now, 3, maybe 4 cuts per. You want some thicker onions for this. I've been in some places where they have super thin ones, but those are good for putting on like the top of chili or something, which, man, that sounds good right now. But go ahead and slice these up. Carefully, your fingers, be very, very careful. It starts slipping because you're grabbing towards the round end. Whoop, like that. Just reach over and grab the other side. Don't do this. I don't know what the hell I was thinking with that. But cut these up and start pulling apart. So let's put together your batter, right? So you get you a cup. You're going to put you 1 cup of all-purpose flour in there, right? And then I ended up using baking powder. I used 3/4 of a teaspoon of that. And then 1.5 teaspoons of seasoned salt, because, you know, I want it to taste good. And then 1 teaspoon of pepper, okay? Once you put that in there. Now, again, the pepper and the seasoned salt are optional, but you will want to try to put some kind of salt in there because it's just straight batter and it will get bland. Give that a nice stir while it's still all your dries. We're going to add the wets next. You want to put 2 eggs, and then 1 cup of cold water. It doesn't have to be cold, but yeah, cold water works. It doesn't have to be hot is what I think we're getting. You might want to puncture those egg yolks before you start stirring this because sometimes they just swim around and it's hard to do it. It's kind of like you're poaching. Use a fork or a whisk to mix the shit out of this. If you got a sheeter beater, stick it in there and let it go. It helps this. It looks really runny. It's a lot runnier than most of the stuff we use to fry, but it thickens up as you're starting. I think it's the baking powder makes it do that, or the flour. I'm not sure, but it gets thick. So once it gets nice and blended, you don't have a lot of lumps in there. It took me like 2-3 minutes of just doing that. Set it aside. Get your onions. Pull them apart. Pull these little oniony parts off. You want to do a single one at a time, and just throw it right in there. Bam. Now, it doesn't stick to the sides as well. Get you a fork or your tongs to pull them out. Fork will let most of that stuff drip through, where your tongs and stuff will grab like a little teaspoon worth of the batter and go with it every time. Just let it drip a little bit, not all of it. But because an onion is slick, it's slippery. Like the only thing as an artist I thought about is like maybe I can sand the outside of the onion and it'll stick more. So when you cook it, you get it to a nice golden brown. It's going to cook that onion in there, but a lot of your batter's going to slide off. Like here, I'm going to show you. Like you got exposed onion there, man. Like your ankles are showing. Silas is excited, but nobody else is. So what I'm going to do is once I get all these run through once, get a decent brown on them, get them out of a paper towel on my regular plate, my, cheap George Foreman grill ripoff. Let those drip off, let those dry off. And it's like mom and pop usually do at home. It rubs up and you just get a mouthful of onion every now and then. You go to the big places, this isn't a problem. So what they usually do is just take it, dip it back in there. It's cooled off. I thought this was closer to the screen. I'm sorry that the camera wasn't showing it. Dip it right back in the batter, give it a nice coating, and once it's already cooked a little bit, and has the batter fried, it holds it on a lot better, makes it a lot thicker. This is great. Like, this reminds me of the Tookie's onion rings. They're super huge and they're coated, and you're not just getting handfuls of that stuff. Cook it in there for 3 to 5, depending on how brown you want it, the crispier, the darker, the one you want it to get. Okay, especially when you're doing the double batter stuff. If you don't, then it's going to be kind of squishy in the middle. So go ahead and fry it till it's a nice dark brown, and that's onion rings, man. That's proper, huge-ass Texas-size onion rings. I did 2 onions, and it made like 4 plates worth of this crap, like it, because it doesn't fit back together when you pull it apart. So I had onion rings for days. You can cut them all the way down and cook them all the way to the insides of them. These are amazing. They're great just as a standalone meal if you're just into fried onions, like if you're just an onion fan. Serve them next to a burger, put them on a sandwich. You know, these are amazing things. Like I said, you can do them as a full meal if you want to, but they're great for a side. Well under our budget, well under like a quarter of our budget. This was ridiculously cheap, but I absolutely love it. I was totally inspired by the store down here, or the restaurant, Tookie's. So if you're ever down here, hit those guys up. They do the original stuff. This is great. Try this, man. And just shameless plug that you got to add Whataburger spicy ketchup to make it excellent, because that's Texas. Holy crap, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. Turned out perfect. This is great. I got oil all over my house. Everything smells like fried onions. This is amazing. This is awesome. You do it differently. You want to see us do it differently? Let us know. Put it down in the comments, man. That's what they're there for. You can find us on social media. You can find us at Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. You can find us all of those at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can also find us at Instagram at Living Between. We had to shorten it down over there. Soon, still, I can't get everything into 3 minutes, but you'll find us over on TikTok pretty soon. And I'll see y'all later. I'm going to sit down and just eat some of my onion rings. So this is going to be great. I'll catch y'all next time, right? Y'all be good.